Welcome back to Mind Over Emotions, the podcast. I'm your host, Kashawn, aka Big Hefe Herc. Y'all know me. First, I want to talk to you guys and say thank you guys for watching the first podcast. That episode was kind of a little crazy, kind of long, but I appreciate you guys actually watching it. For those of you who subscribed already, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I want to talk to you guys also about why I started this podcast. So, I started this podcast because mental health is so taboo right now in the world, but everybody's struggling with it, right? And so I've lost a lot of people to suicide lately. I've lost a lot of family members, friends. I lost the person who's closest to me to suicide most recently within the last 6 months. And at that moment, me and my brother decided we need to start something to where we can give people an avenue to speak, because a lot of times we have a lot to say, or we have stuff on our mind, we don't feel safe. And there are a lot of people out there, they can't even afford therapy and stuff like that. So, and some people don't want to talk to a stranger. So I'm inviting you guys to come to a place that, where you can talk with somebody who you know, who you trust, and you can just be comfortable, sip a drink, and have a good conversation, all right? So with that said, let's get episode 2 started. Today, I'm super excited. I got a guy that I've known for about 2 years. I met him in one of my extracurricular activities that I actually do for mental health, which is bowling. I got into that about 2 years ago in 2022. And I met him at one of the old bowling alleys that I used to go to, and been a straight up smooth dude. So with further ado, got John, aka Mr. Bowling, Mr. Progressive Bowling, probably a pro bowler.
Don't
even know it. Probably one of the most consistent bowlers that I know, man. I'm glad to have you here, man. So first, what I want to do, man, I appreciate that. So first, what I want to do is I want to take it back. I want to take it back to when you was a kid, man. Tell us about whenever you was, how growing up, how little John was, man.
Oh, wait.
First off, where you from?
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. See, I'm out here because moms was in the military. That's when they was married, you feel me? And they divorced around about 2002.
Okay, how old you then?
I was about 8.
8?
About
Okay.
about 8. Little brother was about turning 1, so it was early times. So I have 5 siblings altogether. Our first 3, we all have the same parents. Me, my sister, and then my little brother, which is the youngest out the group. And then I have my sister from my dad's girlfriend. Her name is Sierra, and then I have Naomi.
Okay.
So it's 5 of us.
Out of the 5, where do you fall at?
I'm the oldest.
Everything
falls on me. Yeah,
I'm the oldest boy. I'm the oldest boy out of 7, and I'll tell you, man, that's being the oldest. Even just being the oldest boy is a task in itself, you know.
Oh yeah. Because you gotta be responsible for whatever they do, and then whatever they do, it falls on you.
Yeah, and then being the oldest boy, you might not be the oldest child, but you kind of bear the struggles of all your siblings on your shoulders, because you're in a sense you're if you have your father in the home. Next to your father, you're the next man in line, to run the house. So that's a big hassle.
So a lot of responsibility just falls next to you, regardless.
Yeah, regardless. It's like sometimes you feel like you don't even get a chance to really just be a chill kid. Like you look at your younger siblings and stuff like that, and they get to be just laughing, joking, and then your parents come in and they be like, oh, why was this done? And then the younger ones are just kind of laughing, joking the whole time. Your parent looking at you like, it's on you. So that's crazy. Growing up, did you ever play any sports or anything?
Sports wise, shoot, man, I played football, basketball, I golf, I bowl. I played a little bit of tennis. Only tennis was for my sister. I was trying to help her out. You feel me?
I tried tennis, man. Real quick story, not to cut you off, but I tried tennis, man, and worked like a quick hot second. I don't even think my family even remember me trying tennis. It was so short. And the main reason why I didn't do it was because I looked at those uniforms. I was about to go out for it. When I say I tried it, I had mentally tried it. And I seen the outfits that they wore, and I was like, this is back before now it's socially acceptable. Back in the day, basketball shorts were long as hell. Yes. Well, they went from being little. Remember, in the 80s,
they was little, like right here, the fucking booty shorts.
Yeah, and then when we were younger. Matter of fact, hold on, how old are you?
I'm 30, man.
30. Okay, so yeah, when we were younger, it went to being like the long shorts, the long tees. So this is around a time when I was like, oh, maybe I'll do tennis. 'Cause I want to be like, like into all sports.
Yeah.
I seen them little booty shorts that they had. I said, there's no way.
That's why I stopped doing track. I didn't even put track in the list because I was like, that was like early 7th grade, and they had me running the mile in the rain in them small ass shorts. I was like, I would never do this again.
Never.
My sister in the the stands laughing at me, just laughing at me. I'm like, all right. Cool.
So let me ask you this: what got you into sports?
What got me into sports was really my pops, because after their divorce, pops raised us. Mom took us to Chuck E. Cheese, did whatever, dropped us off at the house, and pew, was gone. So
wait, hold on, back up.
Yep.
So you're saying that your mom left the household and kind of like, I guess you can say, quote unquote, abandoned you guys?
Pretty much. That's what I can say.
So let me ask you this: growing up with just a father, having a single father, how do you think that affected you, like, to who you are today?
Oh man, I seen everything, and that man was a truthful man. It's like, I feel like knowing everything as young as I was affected me in a way to where, like, yeah, I wanted better for my life, but it was like seeing him struggle and not get the benefits that women get when they're in the same situation. It makes it harder for the little ones that are being raised by a single father, because it's like they don't get all the benefits that the women do.
Okay.
And it made it a little harder, but he made it work. Shit, I went to college, I graduated, got my diploma, but
Congrats on that.
appreciate you. But other than that, it was hard. And then, like, shit, a lot of shit fell on me. Shit, simple as that.
I bet probably when he was working, you probably was at the house, babysitting, doing all that kind of stuff.
All that.
How did you, as a kid, how did you manage doing raising your siblings in a sense, quote unquote, raising your siblings in a sense, and playing sports and school? Because you said you graduated, so obviously you had to be kind of like educationally focused.
I had to just try to focus on what I had to do. I mean, I wanted to work, make money. I had a car way back, like I had a '89 Chevy Caprice. All I needed was like $500 to fix the muffler underneath.
I think you told me about this story.
All I needed was $500 to fix that muffler. I would have been driving to school and all this, had extra like little benefits for myself, but it's like my pops, he was like telling me all the time, he was like, don't care about making no money. I'm gonna make ends meet. You just worry about your grades and graduate and get to college. Okay. That's your mission.
Yeah, you did it. So I bet he's proud of you. He's still living?
Yeah.
He's still living?
Yeah, he's still living. He's what, 56, 58?
Okay.
He's 28 years old. 58 then.
Okay.
He's 28 years older than me, so he's 58. And he's still moving strong. Shoot, I got to get back in touch with, like, my relatives in Indiana, too. And
do you ever reconnect with your mother?
Mother? Oh, yeah, I've tried to. But that's what disappointed me about her.
Okay.
Because I had found her. No. And through finding her, I was hearing they were looking for me and all this other stuff. And it was like, I was young and dumb. I put my whole federal on Facebook. Y'all would have found me by just typing in my whole name. So by them saying that and then not finding me and me finding them, and I had to find my mom through her first name because I used to use her maiden name, but she was using her middle name. And I found her by her middle name off of my birth certificate. Found her, then found all that family. And I'm on the phone with her, talking to her and whatnot. And it's like, she never had one question to ask about me, her firstborn. And I was like, that kind of disappointed me because I'm asking question after question and question about her because I never really got to know her. Shoot, I asked a little bit from my dad, but it was like, shoot, I really didn't want to hear from her. I wanted to hear from her, you feel me? And she never had nothing to ask about me. She just asked about my dad, and I was like, after that, no. I don't even care to entertain the conversation no more. I love you for giving birth to me. You feel me? But other than that, you're really a stranger. And it's sad. It's really sad.
So, back to the sports thing real quick, because I know now you do bowling a lot. You bowl every Friday. Pretty much every Friday. Do you bowl other days besides Friday?
I bowl Tuesdays. Leagues with my pops.
Oh, you do leagues?
Yep.
See, I can't do the leagues, man, because then it takes away from why I started.
It takes away.
Fridays are fun, man.
Yeah.
Fridays, it's like we got like a little crew at the bowling alley. We might not all come there together, but we all see each other.
We got our community.
Yeah, like we see each other and it's all good vibes, And that's why I got into bowling, is because
it's really
Besides the
about
fact that I had
community.
two little, incidents that we're not going to speak about, not with me, involving me, but that happened at the bowling alley while I was there,
Uh-huh.
which were unfortunate. Besides that, in 2 years, two incidents in today's society, I think that's a good ratio.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. In 2
So
years, yeah.
versus if I would have been going to like the club or going to the bars and stuff like that.
You know you're gonna have a problem there.
Exactly. So I go there and I see you guys, hang out with you guys. You guys are always
Yeah.
uplifting, man. We usually share a couple drinks before I used to,
Hey man, we gotta support each other. If you ain't got a community supporting each other, then you ain't got nothing really.
Exactly. I think your support system is very, very important. What kind of support system do you have?
Me?
Yeah, like
Shoot, mainly it's me, and then I have my father.
Okay.
But other than that, it's mainly me. It's really mainly me. Like it's mainly me working on my mental, trying to keep myself going, and trying to see the good amongst the midst of all the bad. You feel me?
Okay.
That's really all it is, honestly. And I just try to keep myself going, cause I be having my highs and then I have my lows. You feel me?
Yeah, so I have a question for you. So, growing up, when did mental health become important to you? I know we had a conversation at the bowling alley, and you said that I think honestly we had this conversation twice, and I think on two different occasions both of us have shed a tear when we talked about mental health. Which first I think that's very important, and we'll get into that later. But I was curious, when did mental health become so important to you, and why? If you don't mind sharing that.
I would say it became important to me after my divorce.
Okay. How long were you married?
Shit,
It's like a lot.
6 months.
Only like 6 months?
Yeah, like physically 6 months in the same place, but separate. We were still married. The marriage system, even if you're separate, you're still married.
Is this you have children, right?
Yeah, I have a little daughter.
Is this the mother?
Yeah.
Okay. How long were you guys together?
We were together, and we were pretty much, I guess you can consider it high school sweethearts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So like that's why in my head it like kind of fucks me up that she didn't understand me as much as I understood her.
Okay.
But yeah,
You kind of grew together.
life,
So you were
yeah,
thinking you would,
yeah. Life is life. But I mean, she was there. She pretty much like if I clock it down to the minute today, it was like she's been around for like 14 years. Bro.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So, what caused you guys to get a divorce?
If we get deep in it,
Let's get deep, man.
There's another side to the story. But look,
let's tell your side.
Look.
Your chance to tell your side.
My side, I'm taking care of every bill. I'm taking care of all the four walls, all that. Every single bill.
Doing what a man has to do.
And it's like she's entertaining other men. And I came up to the reaction to where I was like, look, if you keep on going in this route after we've been married and yeah, you showed those cards, but I forgave. We've taken a whole nother step. And no, she didn't want to stop entertaining other men and showing disrespect for me, but to the outside, but making the inside look good. And I'm just like, okay, boom. She keeps on talking. So I reacted in a bad way, and I chose to step out as well. And that's pretty much where she took the extent to where that's why I got my eviction, and that's why I'm got my ups and downs. But it's like I tried to communicate as much as possible. It was just messiness that broke up the marriage, and I should have seen that from the start because that's how it was when we were just dating, you know. And I put her on that pedestal, but she still wanted to entertain the things that her friends were doing. So it's like I can't stop that. I can't stop anybody else from doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do
all I can
you
do
think
is
that
teach.
going through that divorce caused you to it altered you to, or maybe even better word be like to pivot you to, did you pivot in how you approach women and how you approach relationships? Do you think it affected that?
Oh yeah, major.
In what ways would you say? Like, what's the main way you think that now you're different than you were back then when you decided to marry her and be with her?
The difference in the way I am with my women now is like they have to gain my trust, and like they have to gain my trust because I gave it so freely. I just have my trust and my heart on my sleeves. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But now it's like it's shielded, and I don't ever want to put myself in that type of situation to where I'm giving my all for somebody that's only benefiting from it, and then using it to their benefit when everything's done.
But don't you think that doing that you're, in a sense, you're making people pay for other people's excuses? I mean, other people's like downfalls, their mistakes. Because like, let's just say you meet a woman now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's a good woman, and she's done nothing to you, and you make her, instead of you just opening your heart up to her, you make her earn you opening your heart up. Which I mean, everybody's entitled to do what they want to do, but you know, some people don't want to break down walls because they don't feel like they built them. So why should they have to break them down, right?
Yeah,
and that's vice versa for men and for women. It's like
that's right.
So it's like, to me, like I'll speak for me when I'm in relationships, right? I've been hurt. You know, I was married before, and we both, you know, we had our issues and we divorced. We were together for a while, but some people have even asked me multiple times. They say, "Hey, like, you know, how is it that you're able to, like, you know, be in a relationship, break up, and then get in another relationship and be perfectly fine?" It's because the way I look at it is this way: once I'm done in that relationship, I'm done with you. I'm done with that situation, and I'm not gonna entertain another person until I know that I'm done with that situation, right?
Yeah.
And when I get to the next person, I recognize that person for who they are, right? So I'm not going to make you, if, let's hypothetically say, my previous woman that I was involved with, let's just say that she was a cheater, right? Or she cheated on me, or she was a liar. I'm not going to come in a relationship with the next woman and give her that energy as if she's already cheated on me, or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because,
as if she was the last one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's like, she doesn't deserve that.
No.
She deserves, because you think in the beginning of relationships, it's that honeymoon stage, right?
Always.
So how can you be in a honeymoon stage if you have walls up and you're literally, you know, making the other person pay for the mistakes of the previous person? So that's my opinion on it. It's like, if you're not ready to do that, then maybe you should just stay single.
Yeah,
because you're really just kind of setting yourself up. And I also like to live by relationships. I like to live by the saying that says, you know, or the quote that goes like, I forget the exact words of the quote, but it's like pretty much the analysis of it is that you cannot find love if you're not willing to be hurt. Because with love is going to be hurt. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt at some point. At some point,
no matter how perfect you want it.
Exactly, you're going to get hurt at some point. So if you're afraid to get hurt, then you're also afraid to be loved.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah. I do see exactly what you're saying.
So that's just my take on it. It's like, you know, I'm just curious to why people do that. Like, why do they? I get being hurt, and you have to deal with the trauma, and you have to, you know, get over it and stuff like that.
I would say is people are scared, especially after they go through a traumatic little. Maybe they went through new things in that relationship, or maybe they didn't, and they went through similar aspects that it either makes them more scared or it encourages them to keep on going. Like, for me, yes, I have my aspects to where I'm like, there's certain things where I don't want to deal with a woman, but genuinely, I will always love genuinely. Because, like, I had to learn, like, not having my moms around. Either way, I have to forgive and still just be me and love regardless. And I'll always have that love aspect. I don't know what it is about me. Like, I always give love until somebody shows me I can't. I gotta cut that line off.
But see, you should take that same approach to your relationship, though. You should take that same approach instead of having those walls up and saying like, okay, well, you gotta earn my trust. Because I forget the pastor. He was like really viral for a while on social media, and it stuck. I heard it on a reel that he did, and literally he said the quote. And I mean, it's so true. He said that trust is lost in buckets and gained back in droplets. Meaning that as soon as you break somebody's trust, all the trust is gone.
Oh, yeah.
But then you can do 20,000 different good acts to build that trust back up just to get the trust. It ain't one thing that you can do.
It.
You can't just do like one good thing to show them, like, you know, call that person, like, look, we're done, like, or prove to them that it never happened. Once that trust is broken, it's completely broken. They're going to doubt you about everything you've done, and you got to show them for, like, I think the pastor even said that it took him like 10 years, like he stayed with his wife for like 10 years, and he had to like literally like be in the doghouse every day, like sharing his location, talking about different things like that, just to get to the point where they're at now, where they're happy and they're trusted. He can go to the grocery store and not be accused of, you know, hitting on the clerk or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that's a lot of
love,
work, bro. It's
work,
a lot
but
of
it's a lot of
and
love. Like,
but at least that woman had a man that loved her that much, because I wouldn't.
Life's too short.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing all the extra work.
I messed up, and I
don't even know their relationship.
That's what I'm saying. Like, listen,
No.
there ain't that much love in the world, man. To where
Oh.
I gotta be in the doghouse for literally 10 years. I gotta share my location. I think that sharing locations and all that is invasion of privacy.
No. Yes, it is.
And it
Just
shows
like
a lack of trust.
going into each other's phones.
Yeah.
Like you're just creating problems.
Yeah, I just had this
that
conversation
don't
with.
need to be created.
I just had this
Yeah,
conversation
that's
with a
all
family
it
member last week about it. This family member, him and his significant other, they had this situation, and about going through each other's phones, and ultimately I kind of like gave because that family member is my family member. So I kind of had his back for a second, but ultimately at the end I told him, I said, really you guys should just mature up and just trust each other and stop going through each other's phones.
I know.
Because as soon as you go through here's the thing about going through a phone, in my opinion, right? If my significant other picks up my phone and they go through my phone, first off, my policy is this: you go through my phone, you better find something that you want to break up over because we're done. Yeah. That's just my policy because you don't trust me, right? And so naturally, when somebody goes through somebody's phone, you think about it. When they come to you about, they're like, "Oh, why was you putting whatever on DMs this person?" And you put a heart emoji on it, right? Normally they'll see it and they wouldn't trip.
Yeah.
But because they went through that phone, they know it was wrong. They have to trip off of something. So they're gonna trip off. They're gonna build up and blow out of proportion.
Manipulate the scenario.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, because something they normally wouldn't trip over, they're gonna have to trip over it just because they have to justify going through that phone.
Yeah, because either way, then they're going to be wrong for going through your phone because you're going to jump on that ass.
Yeah, let me ask you. You ever had in a relationship? You ever had say a female? And you get ready to go out with your boys, and then the whole time you're out, they're like doing stuff like this, like, show me where you're at, Snapchat me, start FaceTime.
Try to FaceTime me and shit.
Yeah.
Like, can I enjoy?
Do you now? Let's say the roles are flipped. Do you do the same thing if your girl go out?
No.
Truthfully, do you do the same thing?
Truthfully, nah. I'll be at home playing my game. Call me when you're on the way home. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Shit, if I'm out, I'm getting blown up. I'm like, come on, damn.
Yeah.
Where's the trust? Shit. And it is that flip flop because I'll be like, you're good. Enjoy your time. Me, I'm getting bugged every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, so what are you doing on the side? Because for me,
you have to
like,
flip it back
on marriage.
on
For the marriage, it's like, if you're acting like that, what are you doing on the side? What are you doing on the side? They say
the one who trips the most is the one who's doing the most.
What are you doing on the side?
That's what they say. But back to you growing up. That was kind of funny. But back to you growing up. What sport would you say was your favorite sport? Just looking at you, I'm gonna say you probably play baseball a lot.
Nah. Basketball.
Okay.
Football. I went to college for football. But
you did? What school you went
to? I went to two college, JUCO colleges, Victor Valley in California and College of the Desert, Palm Springs area.
Okay.
And but basketball was my love. Okay. That was my love. I hated the fact that my dad hated that I loved football. I mean basketball.
Why?
Because he wanted me to be a quarterback. And that's why I went to college for. As a quarterback, just based off of what he wanted for my life. But it's like, love to make that net.
What were you shooting guard?
Yeah, pretty much shooting guard. I mean, they used to have me play fucking power forward and shit like that just because I was strong. But tall wise, nigga, have me on the front. The first
I can't say much. You taller than me, so
have me on the first three.
I didn't have those problems. That's for sure.
I knew where I was playing. I'm point guard, shooting guard style.
I knew exactly what position I was playing. Point guard, maybe, depending on the lineup he put in. Might be a shooting guard, but for sure point guard. I was little in high school, super little.
Man, I was the shooter. Before Steph Curry had his 100 3-pointers in a row, I had like fucking 50 3-pointers in a row. Everybody at the Y was like, yo, are you going to miss yet? Way before that.
But there's a lot of people who do like really good at sports, they just never get seen. Because I think that basing your life and your journey, it's good to have those goals and admirations to be like, the NBA, NFL, MLB, all that kind of stuff. But you got to have a backup plan because
always.
You think about like somebody like LeBron, somebody like Kobe, Steph Curry. Those people are like 1 in a million.
And they lucked out.
Yeah. They're like 1 in a million.
My dad used to tell me, the greatest players are never in the spotlight.
Yeah.
They out doing something else. The greatest were never out in the spotlight. It was the people that had the grades right, and had just enough talent to be there. But the greats, they out doing something else. They either in jail because they got caught up doing some bullshit because of the lifestyle. It was always the greats always had a, you know, just like what is his name? With the Suns played for he's the coach for Colorado now.
Oh, Dion.
Dion, he got his kids and stuff. Like, yeah, he had a great career and all that. Like, but he seen what he had to do through his younger ages.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get stuck. Either, you know, you got the gang banging, you got the all that shit. They get stuck. And that's why they're never in the spotlight, because they have distraction. You just gotta stay away from the distractions, honestly.
What was your degree in?
My degree was for electrical engineering.
Oh. Well, look, before we were just off camera, you were talking about you know, your pursuit of employment that you're trying to pretty much transfer and go to a different job and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Why you don't do something like
that? I went to go get my apprenticeship. I missed the assessment test by 2 points. Oh, I missed it by 2 points, and then you gotta wait a 6-month period, and then like this was all around the time while I was married, and so like I was gonna join the Air Force at this time, but then I started figuring out that my wife was.
You can still join the Air Force.
I can on my own, yes, but now I think they up the age, so I'm just gonna use it as a backup plan. Cause right now I'm in school for HVAC.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so, you did say that. Yeah.
So I'm take care of my HVAC. Like the last module, I got my honors. This one, I should at least have like an 89%. I believe that should give me honors, and then just finish out the rest of my courses by July with at least 90 and above or 85 and above. I should be good, because I've researched it for HVAC senior supervisors. Shit, you getting paid $85 an hour. And then we're like half electrical engineers, because we have to transfer the the 120 volts from like the transformers that be on them light poles to the houses, and then transfer it to battery voltage. Like yeah. So I'm like half electrician. I'm still in the area, and I'll still always be needed. So
now. I want to get to like your brain a little bit, pick your brain a little bit on some things. What's your thoughts on men in therapy?
Men in therapy.
Have you ever went to therapy?
No. Every time somebody tell me I need to go to therapy, I'll be like, no.
Why not?
Because just like when we be having genuine conversations, I talk about my problems.
Okay.
To any person. I don't feel like me talking about my problems really helps. It just edifies that I know what my problems are. It's really going to take me to make the change.
Yeah, they say that men, therapy doesn't always work for men, because men, we're creatures of action, right? Mm-hmm. So us talking about our problems does nothing for us, right? You think about even in our relationships.
Yeah, because even I talk about it then, but it doesn't change the reality of what I got to change.
Yeah. So you think about even in our relationships, right? We talk about like the things that's going on with our significant other, right? Mm-hmm. They don't want us to sit there and just kind of wallow in our pity, like oh, I lost my job today. They want to know like, hey babe, I lost my job today, but what's your plan? Mm-hmm. Because they're kind of in most cases they're dependent on you, whether or not you're the breadwinner or not. Mm-hmm. Your income is very very much dependent in how the success of the flow of the household, right? Yeah. So
it makes a status quo pretty much.
Yeah, so it's like when you go talk to a therapist, it's like they usually you talk about it, but how can this person? This is my struggle with therapy, right? I tried therapy one time, and literally, I will say this: I don't care how much slack I get for this on social media or the internet, but the government failed me, right? Because this is a mental health.
So you went to the mental health through the government?
Because I had a situation that happened.
The same thing.
I had a situation that happened with me where I was, going through some mental health issues. Mm-hmm. I'll straight up say it. Like I literally had suicidal thoughts. I even had a gun in my hand. You see what I'm saying?
I remember those days.
Thank God to my family who, made sure that I went and got help. Actually, at the time, I checked myself into wouldn't say a mental institution. I don't know if that's what it really called. I don't even know what. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just know when I got there, I told them I didn't want no meds. I'm not crazy. I just need somebody to talk to, right? And so I was there for not even long. I wasn't even there long at all. And I went and talked to the military, the VA, about seeing a therapist, right? They talked to me on the phone for like 30 minutes, and then after that, they scheduled these appointments. Problem is, when the appointment time came, I call, and they're like, oh, well, we didn't have you in the books for an appointment today. So there's that one. Then the second time, they reschedule it, and then it got to a point after the second time where they said that the lady was at home. I called her phone, and I guess she was at home, and she was like, well, you could hear her kids in the background and everything. And she was like, well, can we reschedule? And I'm just like, okay, yeah, we can reschedule.
Wow.
And then so after that, I swear to you, it was like a scam or something, because I called back and the number didn't work.
Oh, it was just disconnected?
Yeah, like it didn't work, right? So at that point I said, all right, maybe this is God telling me therapy ain't for me. I don't know. But even with that, I always thought to myself, like, talking to somebody about my problems who don't understand, never lived the life that I've lived, never went through what I've gone through.
It's not,
you know, just because you went to school, just because you went to school, how can you give me guidance on how to survive in my community? Especially like, for instance, like, you know, as a black male, right? And let's just say I have a Caucasian female therapist. What can she tell me about being a black male in America
and how you should deal with your emotions?
Yeah, she doesn't have the same emotions as me. You know what I mean?
Not
You know, even if it was honestly, even if it was a black male, if he was a black male who grew up in a certain type of neighborhood versus the neighborhood I grew up.
Yeah, that background's what's gonna create that perspective.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of times we struggle with therapy. Now, I'm not knocking therapy. Therapy, you know,
I don't knock it either.
It's good for people. People, you know, it's good for a lot of people. I'm not knocking it at all. I'm just saying, for me personally, that's why I never really kind of like dived into it. And I know you said you didn't ever go to therapy, but would you go to therapy ever?
Would I? Nah, because even within the last year, multiple people was like, you need to go to therapy. Go to somebody that went to school for certain things. And it's like, mentally, I know what it is I need to change in my reality to be more happy. I'm just irritated with the past not being what
should have been.
I seen it as in the future, when it was the past for the future, not being what it was and what I was trying to create.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I feel affects me, because I could talk about anything in my past that has traumatically affected me. Like, I could talk about my suicide days, I could talk about any of those, but it doesn't change the fact that I went through it.
Okay.
And
what did you learn from going through the suicide days?
Going the suicidal days?
Did you learn anything from it?
Oh, yeah.
About yourself?
Yes.
What did you learn?
Your life is way more important than ending it. Because at least you got another day to get things right. You ended that day, it's just over. I'd rather see light than see just eternal darkness.
So if you had the opportunity to take a step back, right? Or let's just say you had the opportunity to tell somebody who is currently battling with suicidal thoughts. Let's just say, we'll make it even more personal. Let's just say it's a black male. He's around your age, let's just say 25 to 30 years old. He's battling with suicide, not feeling self-worth or anything like that. What would you tell him?
What would I tell him?
Coming from somebody who's been through it, survived it, maybe even still deals with it, but you still wake up and you're still grateful that you woke up on God's wake up list. What would you tell this gentleman to help him get through it? What was your advice?
I would just tell him, the first question I would ask him is, what do you appreciate out of life? After that question, depending on what he says, I would just tell him, wouldn't you want to wake up to see that once again and again and again for as long as you can? And then after that, it's like, then I will try to I wouldn't want to hit on that aspect of death, but you would have to talk about it, because it's like, I've been through it, and it's like, I've seen people dead, I found people dead, so it's like, it's not a pretty sight. Yeah. Like, all you're doing is going to cause more pain for others by doing that. So like I would tell him, it's like you just taking your life and thinking you're ending all your pain. All you're really doing is causing more pain, because there's people that care about you and want to see you do good.
Correct.
And
I think they don't think about that though.
no, because the pain overrides everything else.
Yeah.
The pain overrides the foresight, the future, all that. All you thinking is about the present and the past, and which makes you feel that way. So like I would tell the person, like, look, would you want to cause more pain for people that care about you, when even though you think you're doing something good by getting rid of your pain, in all reality you can fix your pain, and it's just gonna take a little bit of time. That's all it is, and that's what I would want to tell them. And you feel me? If you need a hug, I'll give him a hug. Shit, no homo.
Hey, you know what? That's socially acceptable nowadays, so you ain't gotta say that no more. You
bro,
can do that.
Like, I'll give you a hug. You need a hug, bro? I got you. Because it's like, I understand when people want to feel loved, shit, sometimes you just gotta feel love from wherever you can get that shit, because it might just comfort you just enough to get through that next motherfucking day. And that's all I gotta say, because there's been people when I was just, even when I didn't think about committing suicide, but I wanted to, shit, brighten up my day, and I was like, you know what, never mind.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of speaking to somebody, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like even me at the gym, like, you know, I tell people this all the time. Like even at the gym, at my job, when I see people, I remember people, right? So if I say hey to you today, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And you're like, oh, I'm okay. All right. We might have a little conversation about that. Being hey, okay, just okay, like, you know, why just okay? We might have a conversation, right? So let's just say hypothetically tomorrow, I see you again, and I say, hey, John, how you doing? And you be like, man, I'm great. Most people, right? They'll just say, they'll be like, oh, that's good, and keep it moving, right? Forgetting that you said yesterday was okay, and today is great, right? So I will stop and I'll be like, what makes today so great compared to yesterday? Yesterday was okay.
Deep in it.
The reason why is this, because one thing I found is that when people are battling quietly with suicide, not always, this is just sometimes I've noticed this, is that once they've accepted what they're going to do, they might not do it today, they might not do it tomorrow, they might do it months down the road, right? But once they've come to terms with it and they're okay with it, then they are great. They're perfectly fine. They might even start to show signs of being better because they're comfortable. They know what they're going to do.
Because they know what they're going to do.
Yeah. So, even though they might not come out to me and tell me like, hey, yeah, you know, it's because I'm comfortable, you know, that I'm not to come.
That reminds me of something. It reminds me of a saying where it's like, you know, the people that are always happy regardless, those are the people you need to pay attention to.
Yeah, the people who don't go through nothing. Yeah.
Because those are people really going through something.
Yeah.
Because they act like they ain't going through nothing. You got to watch out for them, because they're the ones that's always happy even when shit ain't needing to be happy about.
It's like it's a scary world, man. It's because you don't really know what's real. Like, you know, you don't know really who's really happy. You don't know, you know, and we're losing people like left and right. I was literally just talking to my mom the other day about this. You know, we were talking about kids. You know, and I know you have a kid.
Yep.
Right, I have a kid. Well, I have 3 children. But we're so focused on political views right now, and like, you know, what's, you know, like people's sexual orientation and different things like that. We're so focused on that, but we're not even worrying about what's really important, like what's going on with our kids. Like, we're losing kids left and right, you know. And I'm not talking about like teenage kids, like, you know, like 18, 19, where they can, in a sense, you know, legally make decisions. Their brains haven't fully formed either, but they're more mature, a little bit more mature than a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. Yeah. We're losing 12 and 13-year-olds. They're committing suicide, and they're doing it in bold ways. They're not doing it like, you know, like, oh, I just took a handful of pills, you know. They're like taking guns and shooting themselves, and they're doing all these.
No, that's why I say, like, when I was like in my times of committing suicide, like I was around that age, like the early 10 to like 15, where I'm trying to slit my throat in front of my motherfucking siblings. So it's like I understand it. I understand whatever pain, because that's like, my dad was a single father, mother was never around. We struggled like a motherfucker. People didn't even realize I was that poor, but was making fun of me as if I was that poor. Yeah, it's like they didn't know at all. And so it's like, perspective, and like everybody's got to treat everybody with more love, honestly, because they don't know what people are going through. Yeah, I can come to school happy and whatnot, shit, but y'all don't know. When I go home, it's a motherfucking struggle.
And you know what? I'm glad you said something about going to school as a kid, right? So, when you were a kid, if you remember, we didn't really have social media.
No. We had the little MySpace and shit.
But that was even when we got became high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you think about middle school, like the end of elementary school, middle school, and early high school, right? We really didn't have social media. Social media wasn't that big.
No.
But
it was like an in-home.
But the desire to fit in. The desire to fit in was still there, right?
Always.
And we struggled with a lot of us struggled with wanting to fit in. Like you wanted to have the nicest Jordans, the nicest clothes. Like school time comes around, you like mom buy you one pair of shoes, and you're like, come on, mom, I got classmates who got you're wearing different pair of shoes every day. Like I need the new shoes. You know?
Then mother, you got your people that be clowning on people that wear the same.
So the ability to fit in was very much prevalent back then, right?
Yeah.
But today, I think social media made it so much worse. I even made a comment the other day. I posed a question. I said, do you think that this is the question I posed the other day. I said, do you think that the reason why kids are struggling these days is because of the need to fit in, and social media is the ones who's raising them, versus parents are actually being involved in their lives, right? Because a lot of times I see a lot of parents where they give these kids these phones, they give them the social media, and then they kind of let them just do what they want to do on these phones.
That's why I bought my daughter a camera. You don't need a phone. Take pictures on the camera.
Because look, you think about it, right? Not only are you going to school and you have to fit in, but now when you get out of school, you have to fit in.
You have to fit in on social media.
Social media as well. You could be Mr. Popular at school, but on social media,
it's a whole different world.
Yeah, you could be at school and you could be the jock of the year. You could be all this stuff, but then you get on social media and you got 300 followers. And no one's liking your photos, and that messes with you. I've even as an adult, I've even found myself caught up in likes and all that kind of stuff, and it kind of brings down your self-esteem a little bit.
Yeah, it does. That's why I don't have Facebook. I have Instagram because I could go look at all the reels, but Instagram is the only way you would probably be able to contact me, or my email. But I don't have no other social media because I don't want to be posting things and be like, why is everybody else getting more likes, and then I'm saying something just as justified, but
let me tell you something.
It's overlooked.
On social media, if you say something positive, I've challenged people this for years.
What is going on?
You post a thirst trap, you're getting hundreds of likes. You post even with fitness, you post a failed lift, you get hundreds of likes. You post a successful lift, you're not getting as many likes.
No,
right? You post a positive quote, you might even get no likes.
At least 5 at that. You ain't getting the whole boot cool.
Yeah, no. The society today
society
today is driven on social media is driven by sex, negative political views, and then it's also the failures of others. If somebody has a deformity, that's going to trend. Or somebody fails at something, and
just like you're talking about the deformities. You got the people with deformities on social media doing goofy shit and for likes.
Yeah. I've seen so many videos.
But back in the day, you wouldn't find them doing none of that shit.
Yeah. The whole world has changed.
None of that.
The whole world has changed. I even think about when we were in school,
Bro, it's odd.
It's really so weird, man. It's just really how you think about even sex, how it's socially acceptable now. Back in the day, you had girls going to school and they were wearing skirts to their knees that they wore a little bit too high. They're considered hoes and nobody wanted them. Now, that same female, she can wear
whatever she wants.
Yeah,
she's the most respectable woman.
She's the one that all the guys want. I take blame. Not me personally, but as a man, I think that we're the problem with that when it comes to that.
Yeah, because we
encourage it.
We set the
we encourage
the
that.
standards.
We for sure encourage that.
Yes.
But
that's why with my little daughter, it's the mom, she can't be all modest and then have my daughter wearing leggings and low key crop top. No. Yeah,
I'm so sick of seeing when I be working, I be seeing little girls.
Where's her sweatsuit? Where's her sweatsuit? You got a long ass cotton jacket and shit. Where's her sweatsuit? She might be cold in them leggings. What are you talking about?
Sweatpants, the baggy ones.
For real.
From
you can tie them motherfuckers up.
She a small. She's an extra large.
Dang.
Yeah. But the last question for you, man, is just gonna be, just want to know your thoughts on this. So, I hate to be really political. Like, do you get into politics at all?
I do. Y'all can hate me. I don't care.
All right.
But I didn't think we needed a female president this term. Honestly. Honestly. And then it's like publicly, they were just using Kamala Harris to get all y'all's votes. That's all she was doing. At this moment, Trump is the only one that's gonna. I mean, he has his bad sides, just like Kamala would have had her bad sides. I'm not rooting for his bad sides, but the little bit of good that he does have, just appreciate that, because then after 4 years, we're gonna have
we got no choice but to
just deal with it.
What are we gonna do right now?
Shit, and then after the next 4 years, how about we all get together as a population, because it's we the people, then we actually determine what we want, because it's we the people. At the end of the day, that's all the Constitution runs off of. But they're trying to set all these policies in order to be above the Constitution. We gotta get back to the Constitution.
We'll leave it at that. I ain't gonna get no more deeper in politics. That's all I gotta say. We're not getting no more deeper into politics.
No. So because that's too deep.
I'm gonna change my last question for you.
That's too deep.
We're gonna take it back to the basis of this podcast.
That's too deep.
All right. So to our children out there, earlier you spoke to our men. To our children out there, you're a father. Mm-hmm. You grew up in a single father home. Mm-hmm. To our children out there that are battling with the
suicidal portion.
Suicidal, just all kinds of... First off, before we get into that question, let me ask you this. Growing up, did you ever used to hear kids talk about having like anxiety, depression, all these different mental health disorders? Did you ever hear about that?
Growing up, no.
That's what I'll be telling people. I'm like, when I was in school, we might have had that one person that we were worried about shooting the school up.
One person,
and
but not many.
Yeah, and then now it's every kid. It's like you talk to them, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just depressed."
Oh, well, they got the social media. The social media is what's fucking with their emotions more than regular life, because their escape is the social media, and their escape ain't being their escape, so it's being their what's that word? Their detriment.
Okay.
The detriment where it makes you make those rash decisions where it's like, shit, nobody cares about me, whether it's social media or in real life. Shit, who's gonna care about me? So I would say for the younger ones, like, look, women, young ladies, young fellas, don't care about who accepts you. Care about your family. Care about going to school, getting your grades right so you can get to college. Because college even starts as early as middle school. You can search up whatever college you want to go to. I wish I would have did it more then. But your last 4 years in high school is not the 4 years that is important for figuring out college. You can figure it out at any good given time. You can figure out anything you want to do in your life. You just gotta think about what you want and not think about what everybody is telling you or the outside interferences with your personal life. You ain't gotta worry about that at all, because everybody's perspective of you is incorrect, because they don't know you like you know you. So don't ever take anybody else's judgment for true judgment. The only other person that can truly judge you is that man, Abba.
Like Tupac
said, you feel
only
me?
God
Only God can judge you. You feel me? Only God.
Hey, look, man, I appreciate you coming out here today, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Sharing your story. We're good to have you back. But before we get out here, what do you think about the podcast?
I appreciated it. I appreciated it. Like, I love the setup. I love the questions, and hey, man, I came in not knowing what was gonna go on, but shoot, I just enjoyed being here, being a help.
Would you ever come back and do it again?
Yeah, I'll do it again.
All right, man, we're gonna try to have you back. Hopefully, y'all see me again. Hopefully, we can get you on one of these group ones, man. That'll be pretty dope. I think.
That'll be pretty cool.
But
more
all you guys out there,
minds to talk to.
I appreciate you guys tuning into this podcast. Like I said, I'm your host, Herc. And for all you guys who are battling with any kind of mental health issues, don't be afraid to talk.
No.
Don't be afraid to check on your loved ones. We're losing people more than we're birthing them. So we need to save the people. We need to learn how to start talking about what is going on with us inside of our minds. Don't, like I said, don't be afraid to speak out. And the biggest thing is, I want to say, leave you guys with, is don't be afraid to keep checking on somebody, to get on their nerves, checking on them. Just because you checked on them today, don't mean you can't check on them tomorrow.
Yeah.
With that, I'd like to all you guys stay up, like and subscribe to the channel so we can get some more videos going, and y'all be blessed.